Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode number 56 of the Disney Infinity and Beyond webcast presented by DisKingdom.com. I'm here, Roger, in the United Kingdom, and we have Abe there in sunny California.
Hey, how's it going?
You got a little bit of a flashing problem there, and it's the week. Really, it's going to be our big big pre-launch episode. Disney Infinity 3.0 comes out this week. It is going to be one heck of a great show. We're going to have loads and loads and loads of bits and pieces coming through. We're going to be going through all the launch stuff and pretty much just kind of getting ready for launch, really. Because so, Abe, are you excited about this week?
Extremely excited. Hence the hat. I'm counting down. I just can't wait. It's like it'll be the longest week ever. So.
Yes, because this week Disney Infinity 3.0 launches. Now it's kind of a stretched out release because on Thursday in Europe, Disney Infinity 3.0 launches. In the UK, it launches on Friday. In the US, it launches on Sunday. On Monday next week, it launches on the PlayStation Network. And then I think on the 3rd of September, it launches in Australia and New Zealand. It's kind of stretched out amongst all the regions. So it's going to be coming out at different times. But yep, it's this week. This is the big week everyone's been waiting for. So, Abe, it's literally one of those things of what is some of the things you are excited for Disney Infinity?
Well, as far as what I'm excited for, obviously, to be honest with you, that hub looks amazing. I can't wait to explore it. I feel like it's going to be a better introduction to the toy box. So I definitely want to go through the entire hub before I jump into any playset. But once I explore the hub and how everything works, and once I get some of my crops down and in farming, I'm going to jump right into Twilight of the Republic. I figured I want to get through the Star Wars playsets as soon as possible, because we will have Force Awakens and Battlefront later this year. So I figured get the Star Wars out of the way, so I have some Disney in between. And anyways, I'm excited to be honest with you. I'm just excited to be in that hub. That hub looks amazing. So.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, it's this thing of like, it feels like it's been a long time coming, because I think we're sort of the 3.0 sort of hype really sort of started in April when we were all getting ready for like Celebration, and we were expecting the release date or releasing the release information. It all came in May with a huge dump of information in May, and then it kind of stretched on a bit through E3, San Diego Comic-Con, D23, the Toy Box Summit, and yeah, it's kind of we've had plenty to talk about over the coming last few months, but yeah, it's pretty interesting to see how much is going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know we have a lot to explore once this game comes out. I mean, the cool thing is there's only 2 playsets at launch, which is great. Then for those who get the Saga bundle, then they have 3. But then a month afterwards, we get that 3rd one I'm talking about, which is Rise Against. Later on in the year, we get Force Awakens, and then next year we get Battlegrounds. I mean, we have a lot of spaced out launches. Not to mention, we don't even know when Speedway releases. So it's like there's so much new content that's going to be spread out as far as the way 3.0 works this year. So I'm excited. I still had trouble deciding what I was going to play first, but luckily I got my plan set out. So a week ahead of time is perfect. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm planning sort of jumping straight into the hub. I'm going through some of the tutorials and kind of just getting used to the hub and stuff. I mean, I've played through the first sort of 15 minutes of each of the play sets already, so I'm not in that kind of thing of I want to get in and play those play sets, but I want to kind of get into the hub, have a look around, go through the tutorials. That's where I'm kind of going to start off. I'm going to look into that first bit, and then from there, just kind of get the lay of the land. My plan is to sort of on day one to do that. Obviously for us, we're going to be recording lots of videos and stuff over the first few days. So we're kind of a little bit unlike maybe other sort of, if you're at home, you don't have to really worry about all that kind of thing. So we've kind of got a list of things to do. We've split it between us. So we're going to be doing stuff for the YouTube channel. But yeah, I'm pretty much going to try and pretty much fly through those play sets as fast as possible over the first week, to kind of unlock the toys, get a feel for the things, and then my plan is in September to kind of go through those play sets again. That's my plan is to try and go through the 3 play sets sort of twice over the case of the next sort of 6 weeks, because the play sets, they aren't too long, they don't need too much of too long to do stuff, but pretty interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have 5 this time around, so it's like it's not like the 2.0. We only had 3, so we're definitely gonna have plenty of content. And plus, they're all different. They're all gonna play different, so it's gonna feel fresh every time we play them. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think as well as I want to get into the toy box building again and start doing all that. But you can't really do that until you've kind of got everything unlocked, and also you got the takeover, because this is the thing with the takeover. There's almost this thing of I don't really know too much about it, and that's what I'm looking forward to getting into, because I think the takeover is the one thing that we don't really know too much about, and not too many people are saying too much about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think nobody's saying a lot about it. It's because it does have a similar feel to Escape of the Killing or the Merida one. So it's not like it's too different, but it definitely is. I mean, you're playing against different villains, and you're going through different things. Now the sidekicks work differently, and then you unlock loot for them that you can actually make them play better. So, but yeah, I agree. It's still going to feel different. It's still going to be exciting, and not a lot of people are vocal about it because they're expecting it to be the same. But I doubt it. It's going to be probably a lot different than we think.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the thing with Disney Infinity 3.0 this year is there's a lot more content, there's a lot more stuff going on, there's a lot more things to do, but also everything's spread out. Like you said, we've got Battlegrounds coming next year, we've got Force Awakens, we've got the Speedway, and more content on the site. So it's quite nice knowing we've got like a big chunk of the game still left to do after launch, because I think specifically with last year's game, we had everything at launch, and then we had those 2 sort of toy box game discs a little bit later, and literally like a month later, and that was it. That was all the content. So I'm really excited about it being spread out a little bit more. But yeah, it's I mean, it's pretty exciting just to kind of finally get our hands on it, because I don't know about like this year. I think we've seen so many videos and so much content of 3.0 before launch. I was sat there watching last night. I was watching some videos that Disney Infinity Coach threw up of like some of the toys that I really wanted to have a look at, and he was showing how they were setting up. It was great for me because I was essentially learning what was in all the menus and stuff before the game comes out, and it's that kind of thing of we never had that last year. We really are seeing some nuts and bolts. They've been a lot more open about what they're showing, and I feel like I've got to know parts of the game so much more than I did this time last year, because last year was such a steep learning curve with that toy box.
No, yeah, absolutely. They were very open about a lot, and of course, there's plenty more that we still don't know about. So there's plenty of patches to come to. So yeah, I'm like I said, I'm excited just like you are. I definitely feel like toy box building is in my future with this game. So. I don't know. This is great. This is very exciting.
Okay, so before we get into the launch stuff, I'm just going to quickly go through a little few bits of news that we've had this week. There hasn't really been a huge amount of news because it's kind of everything is just kind of fed off of the D23 Expo. It's really been a case of taking that news and just kind of sharing it out. We saw the new trailer for the Twilight of the Republic, which was shown at D23, which looks pretty cool. I was a bit like, well, I think it was just a bit of a last-ditch kind of publicity thing, because in all honesty, we've seen so much of that Twilight playset in the last few months. I didn't really feel we needed a trailer myself, but I actually thought the trailer was out months ago. I got in my inbox, I'm like, the trailer, hasn't that already kind of happened already? And then we also had the a trailer for the Speedway and the Villains Takeover, which was looked pretty cool. That was interesting to see. Nothing real too new in it. Again, we don't have any release dates for that Speedway yet. And then finally on the Toybox TV Live, JV confirmed that PDP are no longer doing all the accessories for 3.0, there won't be an album, but there's going to be some kind of new carry case that we're hoping to kind of see a little bit more of those accessories this week. They haven't really announced who the partner is yet. So yeah, it's a kind of a bit of an odd one with these cases. What do you think on that?
I hope they finally come up with a great solution, because honestly, everything has been different. Like the little pods, the albums. I mean, there's like 3 or 4 different versions of an album. I don't know. I hope it's something that's actually going to be an easy way to access your discs from now on, and a place where you can put all your discs. Because obviously, I want everything to be cohesive, and even in 1.0, once they got to Series 3, the cohesiveness disappeared because we didn't have an album. So I don't know. I'm intrigued. Hopefully, this new case is user friendly for all the discs.
Because I mean, I think that was the thing with people. We had Series 1 and Series 2. We never got a Series 3 folder. Then 2.0 come out. We had the baseball card case, which was pretty cool. That worked quite big, well, but we never saw the Disney side of it. Then we had the little Marvel one, but we never got the little Disney one to match it. We then had these huge, great big Disney and Marvel ones come out.
There was like 4 or 5 of those too. Yeah,
like 4 or 5. Every store had an exclusive, but they were 4 or 5 months after launch. So most people already had all the discs, and they were priced up with the discs, so they were really expensive. It was just a mess of release, and I'm kind of, in all honesty, I think Disney pulling them back is probably the best thing, because they were all over the place. There was no continuity, and no one had, I've got all these different. I've got one baseball card. I've got things. I mean, I still got loads of tubes that I picked up cheap that I'll be using for 3.0 till we work out what's going on. But my big thing with this is with the less amount of power discs we're going to see now, maybe the accessory side of things is less important than it used to be. What do you think?
I don't know. The thing is, we already have 12 power discs confirmed. Actually, no, 16 with the Good Dinosaur ones.
Yeah.
Then they did hint at Zootopia ones on the Toy Box TV episode. So I'm assuming more power discs are to come.
So that's 20 at least that we know about.
Yeah, so you're still going to want something accessible for you to have them. So I don't know. I thought the disc folio, the ones that look like the baseball cards, I think that was a great solution in my opinion. But like you said, it was never there was no continuity. I didn't think it was cohesive with all the other series. So I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't know what to think. I mean, I still think Power Disc will be slightly important because it is like the concrete version of DLC. At least when you buy extra, you are getting something out of it instead of it just being digital. But I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, it's kind of one of those things of we don't really know how many power discs. By the end of 3.0, we could end up with 60, 80 power discs. We just don't know how they're going to spread them out. If you have 1 pack a month, or we haven't seen anything like what we were expecting, like with Halloween or Christmas or anything like that yet. I mean, I still think we've got lots to learn because of the way they're going to be able to patch things in with updates. That seems to be the way they're going to be going with this. But in honesty, at the minute, I'm looking at these Power Disc albums and thinking they almost need one album that is completely, maybe just a 3.0 album that is almost blank and just empty spaces, because rather than, maybe that was the problem, because they're doing Power Disc differentness here. They're not like, right, okay, you're going to have to match them all up because we're not telling you what you're getting. It is a very different strategy going on, and maybe with the losing the blind bags, they're not putting as much emphasis on the power discs. And so yeah, I think the accessories are going to be slightly interesting to see what they do with.
That's what I was going to say. I think that it's gone to the point where you're going to have to come up with your own way to store your discs, because unfortunately accessories they've honestly have not done well at all. In fact, I think I almost got to the point where I was going to copy, I believe it was Tigga from Disney Infinity Fans. He took sleeves from like coin collectors and created his own album for all the discs. I think I almost want to do something like that, because to be honest with you, I hate having 5 different versions of something where to store my discs. So
Well, I must admit,
Anyways,
I was at the point last year. I think it was the end of 2.0. I had about 7 or 8 tubes full of powder discs,
yeah.
and every time I picked them up, they fell all over the floor. And I eventually went, right, I'm going to get the album. I think the album, I got given an album for a Secret Santa, and once I put them in the album, that was it. I then got hooked, and then went and had to buy all the other albums because I suddenly realized those tubes were not quite what I was after. But
then when you got
what's that?
But then when you got to Series 3 and 1.0, then you're like, where's my album?
Yes, it didn't really work. I was a bit late on that one. But yeah, that was pretty much kind of the main bit of news, really, was those power discs. So what we're going to do next is, right, okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to be discussing the launch of Disney Infinity 3.0. We're going to kind of go through as a guide. We're going to share our thoughts, and we're kind of going to go run through the whole launch run, and also kind of explain what's happening in Wave 2, Wave 3, Wave 4, Wave 5, and kind of just giving kind of a nice overview of it all. That's kind of our sort of plan for this episode. So as we said, so we have the starter pack, or there's actually a few different options, but we'll go through that in a minute. So we've already gone through the dates. So it's the Thursday 27th in Europe, 28th in UK, 30th in US, and then the 3rd of September in Australia. So do you want to kick things off with the starter pack? Abe, I'll give it a little bit of info on that.
Sure, starter pack. So on the starter pack, you have available, you have Ahsoka, you have Anakin, you have the disc. You also have the base and the Twilight of the Republic game piece. Now, that will be available at launch. It is the starter pack. There are no 2 starter packs this time around like they did with 2.0 where you had the Disney version. However, there is a PlayStation exclusive, which is the Saga Bundle. And the Saga Bundle is going to be available for the PS3 or the PS4. And the difference between this is this actually also comes with the Rise Against the Empire playset, which includes Luke and Leia, and the Rise Against the Empire playset piece. That one is not available until a month after launch. However, for the PS3 and PS4 Saga bundles, it will be included in there, as well as Boba Fett, which is also exclusive to PlayStation Saga bundle packs until after the holidays. So Boba will be available in 2016.
January.
Yeah, so January. So that is basically your starter pack. Now, however, for those of you who do not want another base and want to download it digitally, it will be available to download at launch as well. And how are you going to get?
I've just got one quick note that literally I found out just before we went on air. PlayStation owners is going to be available on the Monday to digital download. It's going to be on Xbox Live and the Nintendo Shop on the Sunday in the US. It's going to be Monday in the US for the PlayStation store. So I just thought I'd just throw that one in.
Okay, so PlayStation digital download is 1 day delay. Anyways, what I was going to say, so for those of you who want to download it digitally, and how are you going to get your Twilight of the Republic playset? The playset will be available to purchase separately at launch as well. So you will have a playset with Anakin, Ahsoka, and the Twilight of the Republic game piece. So if you're in the store, if you are not sure what to get, and you see Anakin and Ahsoka not in a big box, but in a small little box with plastic, that is not your starter pack, okay? So if you want to buy your starter pack, make sure you get the big box. But anyways, that's starter pack for me. You want to go ahead and run through what figures will be available at launch?
Well, I've actually got a little add-on to that because
another add-on.
Yes, for us British folk, us over here, we have a slightly different option that is only available in the UK. Yeah,
sorry, forgot about this.
A very different system because we have the starter pack featuring Star Wars, we have the Saga bundle, we have the digital download, but we have an extra option available to us. We have a software-only disc. Now, this is working about £25, £30. You literally can go and just buy the software. So if you've already got 2.0 or 1.0 on your console, you can just go buy the software, pop it in, and you can run it. You know, you don't need to go buy the play sets. You don't need to go buy anything. You can upgrade with a disc completely nice and easy. If you're only interested in the Disney side, there are lots of stores are doing offers where you can buy the software disc and the inside out play set, or you could buy it's even sometimes it's cheaper to buy the software disc and the Twilight of the Republic than buying the starter packs. And there are also some of the stores were offering the free preview pre-order. So in the UK, we do have an extra option. And in all honesty, I think if this goes well, I think this is what we would see in the future. They're not doing it in the US for some bizarre reason. The UK are the only place getting it, but I know a lot of the UK Disney Infinity fans are using this option as their way in because it's cheaper than the starter pack. But like I said, I don't know why America haven't got it, but there is that extra option for us. It slightly has muddied the water because I think a lot of Americans are going to like that option. And why haven't we got it? But if you've already got, but it's just a quick note. Also, just like to quickly add to anyone that may be slightly confused. Xbox One, you need to buy. You have to make sure you've got the base that you've already been on the Xbox One. For some reason, there's some kind of issue where you can put the PS3 version on the PS4. You can put the PS4 on the Wii. Doesn't matter. But the Xbox are slightly different. They did something on their own. So, what was it you were going to say that you wanted to go on? You were about the launch figures.
I was going to ask you, so you want to go over the launch figures? Actually, you know what? I'll go over the launch figures, and then you can go over the situation that is with the UK because that's also different than out here.
Yes.
So launch figures, we obviously have, aside from the starter pack, we have the Twilight of the Republic launch figures, which also includes Yoda and Obi-Wan and. Is Darth Maul not available at launch, right? He's going to be
Darth Maul is available He's available in November.
Yeah, that's right. So those two will be at launch. We also have the Disney side, which includes Mickey, Minnie, Olaf, Korra, and Sam. Now, as far as Mulan goes, Mulan will be a Best Buy exclusive. So that will be a 30-day exclusive with Best Buy if you want to get her at launch. We also have the Star Wars Rebels, which will be available at launch. And those are obviously Zeb, which will be a GameStop exclusive, I believe.
Yeah, GameStop.
Kanan, which is a Walmart exclusive. Ezra, which is a Toys R Us exclusive. And Sabine, which is a Target exclusive. Now, there's also the Pixar side, which is Inside Out. That playset will be available at launch, which includes Joy and Anger, as well as the Core of Memories game set piece. And you also have Disgust and Sadness available at retail at launch. However, Fear is an Amazon exclusive, and that is a 30-day exclusive. So after 30 days from launch, you can get him everywhere else. But those will be the figures available at launch. As well as the Toy Box Takeover expansion game will be available at launch. However, it has been a perk for pre-ordering for quite some time, so a lot of people will be getting him for free. However, it is retailing at $19.99 in the US. Now, I know as far as exclusives go with retailers, the UK works differently, so go ahead and take that over, Roger.
Yes, for those of us in the UK, in Europe, I think even Canada, Australia, we have none of this exclusive retailer stuff. We don't have any of it to worry about. All the retailers have all the figures, so you can pick up all of them at any which store you want. There is no exclusive deals going on internationally for some reason. And yeah, Canada is included in that because I know there's a little bit of confusion because obviously sometimes they do the same stuff as America, but there's no Target in Canada apparently, so they don't. That was one of the big reasons. But yeah, so we don't have that problem. We can go buy them everywhere you want. So it's nice and easy. But
we like to jump through hoops over here.
yeah. It's like Americans. It's like I'll go to this store and I'll go to that store. I can see why they're doing this. This is kind of like every store has got an exclusive figure for a limited time. The reason why they won't have put up pre-orders on their other stores is because during that period, they only want you to go to that store or buy it online. So you're either going to have to do a lot of running around or perhaps doing some orders online to have all those different items delivered to you. Bit of a pain. I am really glad we haven't got that in the UK because that would have been a bit of a kerfuffle. But yes, yeah, so there we go. So that is all the figures. Quite nice there because we've kind of got like 2 Star Wars figures to buy. in terms of the Twilight to go with that one. We have the 4 Star Wars Rebels, and then we have the Disney side with 6 figures there. So kind of a quite nice variety of different figures at launch, and nice to see the Disney stuff coming out at launch. They really did kind of come into that of sort of not wanting to sort of alienate the Disney fans from day one. We've got Star Wars and Pixar straight away.
Right. Let's move on to a month after launch.
Yes, yeah, we'll do the month. Yep. So that's, I think it's the 28th of September for the US, and I think the 3rd of October or 2nd of October for the Europe.
Okay, so that's obviously the Rise Against the Empire playset, which we mentioned earlier before, which includes Leia and Luke. And you also have Han Solo and Chewbacca separately. Now, does Darth Vader also fall under the category of later on?
Darth Vader is in that same wave as well, second wave.
So that would be the only launch characters we would get on the 30-day mark.
And then obviously I think those Rebels and exclusives would then be popping out to other US stores and stuff as well.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, all the store exclusive in the US will be void. Do you want to jump on to the next wave?
Yeah, well, I was just going to quickly add on this thing with the Rise of the Empire coming out like a month afterwards. Now, obviously, PlayStation owners can get the bundle box and get it early, like myself. But I actually think this was a really good idea, because I think this is something we saw a little bit with the first game, where we saw Toy Story come out a couple of months later. Personally, if you're on, I actually, if in some ways, if the bundle pack didn't exist, I'd actually be really happy with this idea that the Rise of the Empire is coming a month later. So if you're on Xbox or with Nintendo, and it's a bit of annoyance. Obviously, you go and you know somebody's got something that you can't have. I understand the annoyance and that, but in some ways, it's kind of quite cool to have those 2 play sets, play through them, get them all done, and then Rise of the Empire comes out, and that gives you the second wave. And then I think it's a cool idea. It's quite nice, the idea of having. We are going to see a lot more spread out, a lot of bits and pieces. So I'm kind of. I think if you're not on PlayStation, I wouldn't worry too much. Rise of the Empire is coming out just a month later, but I think by the time you've kind of gone through the 2 play sets and Takeover, there's probably enough to keep you going to tide you over.
Yeah, and if Boba is the determining factor, then you have no choice. But I can wait for Boba.
But he'll be out in January anyway. So I'm going to quickly just go on to Wave 3, which I believe is the beginning of November. Different dates again, different regions, where you're going to get Darth Maul, Hulkbuster, and Ultron from the Marvel side. Those are the 3 figures that will be coming out at that point. That really is the only known figures we know of. That's kind of, I would say, a lot of Wave 3. We've got Force Awakens, Battlefront. We've got Spot. Spot is out on the same set. Spot will be out with those 3 characters as well. Totally forgot him. And then there'll be like Zootopia. So there's a lot more coming out later on. And there's going to be the Star Wars FX figures that have been around the holiday time. So we'll be getting into that obviously when we get a little bit closer to it. And I think there's going to be more figures and stuff to be announced later on. So there's definitely going to be much more waves, a lot more different ways of doing this. I mean, we've seen it in previous years. We saw 1.0, we had Launch, Toy Story, first level of Toy Box ones, then Mickey. And I like the idea of having new figures every month for every 2 months. I think that's the best thing. It kind of slides into that sort of Skylander territory, keep going back into the game, keeps you buying things. Because I think launch with a lot can be a bit overwhelming for people. But I think, if a few figures come out randomly, that is kind of great to me.
Yeah. Also, Power Discs. Yeah, Power Discs. So as far as Power Discs go, at launch, we will have 8 Power Discs available to us. 4 will be from the Twilight of the Republic set, which include the Felucia Sky and Terrain, General Grievous's Wheelbike, and the Mace Windu team-up disc. The other 4 will be themed to Tomorrowland, which will be the Tomorrowland Sky and Terrain. Also, the Time Stopper Blaster. No, actually, that's the bomb. The Time Bomb and then the Blaster, which are all from Tomorrowland. A month after that, with the Rise Against the Empire playset, you're also going to get the Rise Against the Empire Power Disc pack, which includes the Y-Wing, Slave 1, the Leia. I forget what the what's the
Bosch,
yeah, thank you. Bosch, Boosh, whatever. The costume change disc and the Luke fighter pilot costume change disc. And then obviously, I'm assuming once the spot figure comes out, they'll probably release those 4 that they announced at D23, the 4 dinosaur mounts power disc, and then I'm assuming the same thing with Zootopia. The hinted discs would be out around Zootopia as well.
Yeah, and I'm thinking we would probably get some Force Awakens Power Disc pack and maybe some Marvel stuff as well. Now, quick on the UK side of things and internationally, Power Discs are slightly different. We've got the Twilight of the Republic pack coming out at launch. That's it. We've then got to wait till Wave 2 beginning of October for the Tomorrowland and the Rise Against the Empire Power Disc packs. They're out with Wave 2. For some reason, we're not getting Tomorrowland at launch. I'm not entirely too sure why we're getting them a few weeks later, but yeah. So yeah, I must admit, I am looking at this going, right, okay. So this year, I've got 1 Power Disc pack to buy of 4 Power Discs, as opposed to buying 25 packets last year. Oh, I'm just like, that is such a huge difference financially, because it literally £6-7 for this pack of 4, or what did I spend last year? I must have spent 80? What's that? Yeah, I must have spent nearly £90 to £100 on Power Discs in one go last year. So I'm already loving this new Power Disc system, because I'd much rather have a handful of new figures and literally not have £100 of Power Discs blind bagged, because then I had to spend a fortune on postage and all the rest of it. So I'm loving the new change to the Power Discs. I must admit, I can't really. It's such a great idea. Get rid of the blind bags, get rid of the trading, get rid of the duplicates, and also just reduce them. I just think they overcooked it. They had this idea that they're going to be swapping them, but I think it just annoyed people, and people you ended up selling them off for 25 cents, 50p a packet. I do think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I agree. It's just better that way. I mean, blind bags didn't work out. I think honestly, what really cursed the blind bags, to be honest with you, was the holofoil where you would feel the rares. I think if that wasn't in the first one, I think we would still have tradability. But anyways, whatever. That's in the past. Now I know you hinted at Force Awakens. So let's go ahead and move on to that. Now, Force Awakens, we heard at D23, I believe, that it will launch to coincide with the film release. I believe JV said the date, December 18th, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
I know the movie comes out on the 25th, but it's going to release a little bit earlier than that. And we're also assuming that the 2 figures plus whatever other figures will be with the Force Awakens, which was what is it? Finn and Rey.
I'm guessing they're in the playset pack. I guess a male and a female, 2 new characters. So yeah, so they will be coming in December when the movie comes out. It's going to be it's the only official tie-in to the Force Awakens, because although the Battlefront has a slight DLC thing, this is the only thing. Gonna be great to have something just before Christmas. So I would recommend to any parents that maybe are planning for this for Christmas presents, when the pre-orders come up, order them in, because you don't really want to be going anywhere near shops at that time. I know I'm not going anywhere near them. So so I think it'll be definitely worth getting. And I think they're going to be hot. I'm not entirely sure if they'll sell out, because I think they'll be producing loads and loads of them to tie in with it. They'll want to make sure they've got that covered. Yeah, so the Force Awakens is December. So essentially calling that Wave 4. That's Wave 4, really. Quite, especially after last year. It kind of feels quite odd to say that, but
yeah. And then also we have Marvel Battlegrounds, which is on wave, I don't know, the last wave, which would be wave 6, 7, I don't know. Which we got was spring.
Yeah, because we really don't know what we're going to be getting after the holidays. I think they'll be sneaking in a lot more stuff between holiday and Battlegrounds. We've also got Zootopia as well announced.
Yeah, Zootopia, which I'm assuming will come around that same time as Battlegrounds. Not to mention also one final thing that was announced at D23, which was the Artist Choice figure, which is Peter Pan. JV has tweeted, and I've also gotten confirmation from the advisory board, the artists who were there, that it will be a 3.0 release. So it should definitely be the last wave of whatever figures come out will be Peter Pan. So yeah, that's just a lot that we have coming and a lot that we still don't know of. I know somewhere in there, whether it coincides with Battlegrounds or sometime before, eventually we'll get this elusive Ant-Man figure that they've hinted at so many times. But other than that, that's all we know at this point. Yeah, I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Roger.
I mean, Battlegrounds is going to be hit in March, which is just before Civil War hits the cinemas. That's coming out April, May time. So that'll be all out. So it'll be a nice little Marvel push. I think we're going to see a lot more of that probably after Christmas. I think we're going to see, we've got Hulkbuster and Ultron in November. I think the Marvel side, they're going to wait till they get the other side of Christmas. And then they're going to start and get the Force Awakens. It's going to get all the attention before it. So really kind of a quick note really on, I know a lot of in the previously years, everyone would get the game, run straight into the Hall of Heroes, straight into the Hall of Superheroes and try and work out what all the new statues and the new power discs. And we find out stuff that, we're going to find out what's coming out. That ain't happening this year. They have changed the game. There is going to be patches and updates to the game as they go along, as they release stuff. Yep, so they'll be adding stuff as they go. And in all honesty, if your console is not connected to the internet, I would make sure you find a way of trying to connect it through cabled or wireless, because, I mean, in all honesty, at 2.0, if you weren't playing online, you didn't really have a lot to do. There's can't really be a lot you could have done with 2.0.
Well, speaking of Bob Lowe too, at the summit, he did mention that even those who aren't connected to the internet, out of some kind of magic, they're still going to figure out a way to actually update all the information into the game, whether you're not connected or not. So I don't know. Apparently they figured out how it is. I don't know if it's something that the consoles automatically do or something. Is
the pigeon now coming to everyone's house?
That's what I was going to say. There is a carrier pigeon.
Yes, I literally, Patricia is actually on my roof ready to go, and I am not kidding. I do actually have a homing pigeon on my roof.
She's still there.
She's still there. I have kind of adopted it as my new pet pigeon. I am feeding it daily because it doesn't seem to be wanting to go home. Because I figured it's a little homing pigeon. It's lost, and why not let it have a little bit of a free life? So I think with the update size, it's either one or two things. Either everything is on the disc and things will be unlocked, and they are being really, really coy about the fact they've managed to lock things down. So that's theory number one, that everything is on the disc, but I don't know.
No, I don't think everything's on the disc, and the fact that they're going to be able to add Peter Pan in 3.0 is complete proof that everything's not on the disc. In fact, because of recent events, for all those who have been paying attention, there are things that we're not talking about today for a reason. And the fact is, they also reveal that they have the ability to patch things out. So the fact is, they're able to do things without the disc now, which is something that I am very happy about. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I am wondering if we're going to see updates via the website, and it will literally be, you on a certain, maybe says, like maybe they flash up on a specific date going, please visit Disney.com and download the latest update onto a USB drive, which sounds very complicated. Are they going to release a separate disc in a few months and just literally pop it out for $5-10 and just kind of literally go, well, that's a lost leader, but we're just going to put it out there for people that aren't connected? That was another idea. Are they going to put a USB drive or some kind of little mini disc with the playsets update? Are they, these are just like random ideas. It's just, or I can't see how an RFID chip is going to pull that information off.
That's
yeah.
Can I add to that? I was going to say that's exactly what I think it is. I think once you set down your figure, let's say you set down your Judy Hopps figure, and the RFD chip interacts with the game is going to trigger saying something. In order for you to be able to use this figure, please download the latest update. And that's going to force people to actually have to connect online. That's what I think it's going to be. Because I have a feeling parents are not going to want to buy these figures and not have their kids be able to use it without doing the update. So I think this is the new way to actually force people to connect. That's
and I wonder
my
as
opinion.
well. I wonder if there's going to be a little logo on the box of these new ones saying "internet connection required" or something like that. Because I know Lego are doing it. I think we're at a point really where it's really difficult because the whole of the industry has moved into this digital downloads and DLCs and update patch. Some games, if you didn't have update patches, you wouldn't barely be able to play some of them. It almost, and I think they are talking something like 95% of consoles are connected to the internet. I think we're at a point where they have all the technology, the mass public have done it and sorted it all out. And in all honesty, it's almost like with everything, eventually the companies have to turn around to the digital up. I know when we are upgraded from analog to digital television, eventually they have to turn off the old one, and the people that aren't ready, it's like, well, you are going to have to jump forward into doing it. I think we're almost at that point where they're having to force people into doing the last few stragglers.
Roger, to be honest with you, I mean, I don't know how it is in the UK, but out here, dude, there's like 5-year-olds with iPads and iPhones, and they're obviously playing online. So if somebody right now does not have their system connected to the internet, I don't know what time they're living in. I mean, no disrespect to you guys, but everybody uses the net for everything now. So I'd be surprised if there are that many people left that aren't connected. So
yeah, I mean, I know
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I know like Xbox One, they were going to be just purely online. They weren't going to have a disk drive, and it all had to be online. And there was a kind of a big reaction to people didn't want that. And I think there's that thing of people not wanting to be online all the time, and especially like with portable devices, it doesn't always work so well. But essentially, there's a difference between this kind of having an update and a patch to do stuff. And I know a few of the sort of Infinity members have said there will be patches and updates. But this leads me to this kind of thing of, if they get people into this now and get people more ready for it with 3.0, we could end up seeing the platform that we've all been waiting for coming eventually. If they can get enough people onto it now, we'll get that platform where they no longer need to release starter packs and discs yearly. I mean, they can still do it if they want to, but the idea of a platform where they can just, it's like now, it would have been great if we didn't need to go buy the new software. This our 2.0 software just updated, and I could go out on Friday and just pick up Twilight of the Republic and start playing it. And I could have already had Inside Out figures out in June when the movie came out. And, if they go down that route eventually, like I think they will want to be going down the route with them, that is where they can really make this game stand out and be continuously upgraded with new content when new movies coming out. Look at all the stuff they've got coming out with at D23, all the new movies. I can see that's where they want to get people to go to, and that will change the game really in terms of having continuous content and make Disney Infinity that Disney property that if you want to play Disney, you just have the game. I mean, it would make a lot more sense if they just made Infinity software free and then they sorted out everything else afterwards. I think that'd be one way of dealing with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, until people stop buying Blu-rays and DVDs and CDs, I don't think it's going to happen until that starts to happen. So.
No, it's a really tricky one, and I think I feel like we're right on that sort of the edge. We're right on that point where they want to go forward, and you can see that they've got it in place and they're ready to roll, but they're being held back that they can't do what they want because all these patches and updates is done going forward in that route. There's no doubt of that Battleground and Force Awakens and stuff, and more play sets to be announced and all this kind of stuff allows for this update. I'm going to be interested to see how that CD goes down, the software disc goes down in the UK, how that sells. Do they have a lot of issues with? Because it's almost, I almost feel like we're being used as the guinea pigs. Because if that works, who knows? I mean, I know we've got this idea of this starter pack. They're obviously doing something here for a reason. They must. I still think it's some kind of experiment.
No, I kind of disagree only because I'm going off of insider information. I do remember this question being asked to JV before, and JV did say that just the US is the one that's really trying to get away from using discs. That's why they didn't release a software-only option, but the UK team works differently. So, so you are spot on the fact that they want to go in that direction where they don't need to use discs anymore. But until the public stops buying them, I highly doubt it. So,
I just think it's like, it's like Inside Out. It's a perfect example of if this playset had come available in June when that movie came out with all the figures, that would have been amazing, because you'd have just, if 2.0 just had upgraded for the playset, or it would have been that thing of, and I can see, like with Force Awakens and Battlegrounds and things coming up, that idea that they don't have to wait for those Tomorrowland power discs. If they'd been patched in back in May, they're probably going to sell a damn sight better than they would have done when they come out next week.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, obviously the movie didn't do as well either. So I think maybe when it comes out on Blu-ray, people are going to want to see it more, and maybe it might make people to buy the disc too. So who knows? I don't know. Maybe it's a strategic plan.
Yeah, I just think we're at a point where the launch stuff. I'm looking at the future of the game and just looking at where we are, and thinking they are doing stuff differently. There's no doubt about that. They're doing stuff very differently. And I mean, some people have even sort of been talking about the fact that sort of 3.0 almost feels like the proper sequel.
Mm-hmm.
The proper, especially for the Disney fans, because they're actually getting a Disney playset. I still think there's that kind of demand of. I think Star Wars is still sort of dominating this edition, but it does feel a lot more. I think Marvel is the one that kind of. I'm still sitting there going, I've got no new Marvel stuff coming out this week. That's where I'm actually. I know all the Disney fans and stuff, but I'm actually sitting there going, well, I've got no new Marvel stuff coming for at least a few more months, and I'm only getting 2 figures. So that's kind of quite funny, because I've been so used to playing Marvel Disney Infinity for the past year. That's where I've got so used to the superheroes. It's like the idea of Disney characters are quite funny.
Yeah, and I kind of want Hulkbuster already anyway, so yeah, he's fun to play with.
Yeah, so no, it's kind of pretty interesting. So like I said, we've kind of run through there all of the launch stuff. Just want to quickly add onto that a little bit about the because I think we kind of forgot them, was the expansion games. We have
I mentioned them.
Yeah, you have the Takeover is a pre-order bonus. Is Takeover actually going to be out on Friday or on Sunday to buy in stores?
Yes, it's going to be out at launch.
Because that's kind of been one thing that's been a little bit kind of absent.
Well, I mean, it's honestly it's a no-brainer. It makes sense. Why would it be given away as a pre-order bonus if it's not going to be available at launch? You know what I mean? Unless everybody's going to be getting it sent to them differently. No, Takeover is definitely available at launch. The only one that we have no clue about is Speedway. Speedway, they haven't mentioned a date. They haven't mentioned what wave it'll be out on. All we know is that it will be $19.99 when it is out, and I know it will be popular because it's definitely a fun game.
No, it's just a bit of an odd one, really.
Mm-hmm.
Because Speedway is coming. We still don't have an official date for Speedway, which is the racing one, which I know a lot of people are excited about. But I am just looking at the minute, just trying to look on the UK retailers just to see if I can find the Takeover, because I don't remember seeing it on any of our options. So I'm just having a very quick look. But Speedway is. I've seen a few dates on some of the UK ones saying end of October, but nothing's really been confirmed on that yet. So it's kind of an interesting one to sort of see. And like I said, we're just checking literally the retailers because it is kind of an odd one.
Yeah, I'll pull one up as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can. Toy Box There we go. That one's coming up on Toys R Us in the US. I'm just having a look here. GameStop UK. It's kind of this interesting thing because I like I said, it's the dates for this one that's coming out. Oh yeah, so I can see here on Toys an estimated ship date of the 30th of August. So yeah, so it's definitely at launch in the US.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's no point in having it as a pre-order bonus if it's not available at launch. So
yeah. Okay, pre-order. Oh yeah, and it's out in the UK as well. £11.97 price on GameStop. And I'm just going to have a quick look here to see if it's got Speedway as well. But they kind of, again, oh yeah, here we go. 23rd of October in the UK by the looks of it.
for Speedway.
Yeah, that's what it's got on our, that must be like wave, what, 2.5. Yes, that in the UK. Yeah, the UK release date on here is the 23rd of October, which would make sense. I think, you know, we are going to see it before sort of, well, definitely this year because of the way they've been promoting it. But I mean, I must admit, Speedway is the one I'm really excited about. I think it's definitely taking over a lot of the steam from the Takeover one because I think Speedway is what everyone's really excited about, the go-karting sort of side of things. Oh
yeah, no, Speedway is definitely popular. It's definitely popular at all the events I've been to where you try it out. So yeah, absolutely.
But also, quite interesting to see that with the Speedway. If it does come out end of October, that again is a nice kind of, you know, stuff now. Rise of the Empire. We then got Speedway. You then got the new figures in November. Then in December, you've got Force Awakens. You know, literally that will be quite cool to have new content every single month for the rest of the year. I mean, that's pretty, you know, after a drought of 5-6 months, that feels quite nice. And I like I do think having it a month or sort of 2 months after launch is a great way of kind of spreading that game out, because if you saw it on the shelf, oh, something new for Infinity, I think it's a great idea. And it's also not going to be quite as overwhelming for people of what to buy.
Yeah, no, it has that feeling of fresh, something new to buy, and it's spaced out. So, no, yeah, it's I'm excited for that as well. Yeah.
Because I think I mean, there was a little bit of confusion back when GameStop or Game Informer ran a story saying there would be 4 expansion games, and then there's pretty much only ever been talk of 2. I think it's the one side of things. I think again, this could be kind of that thing of, are they seeing where the land lies with how people react to them, how they sell on their own? Because they're slightly being so differently to how we saw these Toy Box expansion games last year. There was 4 of them that we saw. And I always felt, there was a lot of promise and there was a lot of untapped potential into this idea of having a game that is non-linked to any particular story. There's no kind of idea that they're not linked to any particular brand. Anyone can jump in it. And I think that's something that with Infinity, of having that structured play, could be really exciting going forward. So I don't know what you think of that, Abe.
No, I mean, it adds variety. So no, I agree with that statement. I mean, just adding that structured play is something that people have been wanting, and the expansion games are definitely a great compromise, in my opinion. I don't want them to become Skylanders where everybody goes in the same place. It doesn't make sense in Disney stories. So, I mean, obviously it makes sense for Star Wars characters to intermingle because they're all part of the same world, and Marvel to intermingle because they're all part of the same world. But I don't think, Cinderella belongs in Ariel's world. It just doesn't make any sense to me. They're different places.
Or Tarzan and Anna's.
Yeah, but that's a conspiracy theory. Conspiracies, people can say that they asked the creator and yada yada yada. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, like this whole Pixar story, how everybody's in the same world. Yeah, sure, okay.
Because you have to wonder. So yes, if that was the case, well, why is like you think like, well, if they're all in the same Pixar universe, a fish can all talk. toys are all alive, and bugs can talk, and all the animals can talk. So yeah, it kind of.
And why weren't the cars talking when Riley and her family moved over from Minnesota? Why weren't they talking?
Or why didn't the car stop when Buzz and Woody were chasing after it? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, RC race, yeah, okay.
Silly people.
That's a side note. So
anyways, Disney stories don't belong together.
No.
There.
So there we go. So there we have so that's our initial rundown of all of the launch stuff. Like I said, next week's show is going to be slightly different because we'll have both got the game. We'll have been playing the game. Abe won't have had as long as I will have because fortunately the UK get that a few days early, so I've got all weekend to sort of play through it.
I won't be on the show. I'll be playing. I'm just playing.
You know, I even did have the thought of like, I want to like, should we do,
I think that
do the show fun within a PlayStation chat? That was the idea.
I was going to say that the show, it's going to be me doing this the whole time. Yeah. What, Roger? Yeah. What was that? What? That's exactly how the game's going to be.
This is the thing, because for next week, the whole thing changes because the whole show will just then, we've got the game. We'll be sharing our initial thoughts of it because we're going to go. The plan is to go through each of the play sets over the episodes following in more depth and go through them because it's that kind of thing of, we'll go through them in a lot more detail after launch. But next week's show is going to be our initial reactions, what we love, what we don't like. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, we've been asking lots of questions on the Facebook group Infinity and Beyond this week. What toys are you excited about? Which figure are you going to be using first? There was questions of which figure you're going to be using the least. What playset are you going to be doing? What are you going to do on day one? And just kind of getting the fans all excited. So any of them you want to add to?
Yeah, Roger, what is the first figure you will be using?
Oh, I am really torn. I am thinking Olaf.
You because like warm hugs.
I do like warm hugs, but also I haven't used him yet, so it'd be quite nice to do. And I love Olaf, so yeah, I'm going to be into the Toy Box Hub with Olaf. I think because that would resist my temptation to fly. That's the thing. If I put Boba Fett in.
If you can't guess which one I'm going to use first, I'm going to be surprised.
It's going to be Sam or Cora. No.
Wow.
No. Darth Maul. No.
Wow. Have you been doing these webcasts with me? Darth Vader all the way. He's gonna be my first he's gonna be the first 3.0 figure I use, and he's probably gonna be the one running around in the hub. Actually, no, not running around, walking around the hub.
Walking with style.
Walking with a pep on his step.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting because our question was asked on the group of like which character you want to use first, and it's really all over the place. There's really kind of people are all over the place. I'm kind of tempted to use Yoda because he's been sat on my shelf for the last sort of month, looking at me, going, "Use me, I'm still in the packaging."
Use me, you must.
Use me. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's that kind of thing. If there's so much to do, so much to play, and so much to literally my initial plan for day one is just literally tasters, play around in the hub, do the tutorials, do the kind of look in the theater, look in the Finn's arcade, and just have a mess about all that. Jump into the play sets and have a little bit of a dabble. But yeah, I kind of want to have just a general overview before I really get my teeth into anything. Because literally that weekend, I'll be recording videos and stuff, but also I'll be trying to do maybe a little bit of Twitch streaming, or luckily I think I'm hoping I'll get sort of selected for a thing for streaming to YouTube, so that should probably be coming soon. But yeah, it's going to be just quite exciting just to kind of start playing the game. I'm not really planning on doing any toy box building for a few weeks. I want to kind of get everything unlocked. Well, I want to get in there and practice because I need to do sort of some bits and pieces. But
you are a little rusty, yeah.
Well, I submitted a toy box last week, so
yeah, I saw it. You're rusty.
Yeah,
I'm just totally playing with you.
Yeah, because that kind of thing. I think I sort of around May time, The Witcher 3 came out, and then Batman, and I decided just to have 2 months off. literally last week I played right through the Avengers playset. This week I've played through these Guardians of the Galaxy playset, and I just started last night again going through the Spider-Man playset, because I'm a bit like, I felt like this last year with 1.0. It's like I want to kind of play it through again before the new game comes out. And then I'm thinking, why am I worried so much? I've still got the disc. I think because last year when I went from 1.0 to 2.0, I was getting rid of my PlayStation 3 at the same time, so it was the end of it. Whereas like this year, it's actually no. If I do want to go and play the Avengers playset, I can just put the disc back in and play it. But yeah.
Yeah, I plan before 4.0 comes out. I'm planning to play through everything on 1.0 and 2.0 and then 3.0. Because I do have my Xbox 360 hooked up still. So
yeah, it's kind of going to be interesting to sort of go through it all, and just kind of, like I said, I think for me the idea of like September is literally just going to be play through those play sets, play through the Villains Takeover, unlock all the toys, get to grips with the new toy box, and just start messing about in there and just kind of getting some ideas in. Because while jumping straight into the I'm sure all the toy box artists, they've kind of had that, they've almost a 2-week head start on us to kind of get all their stuff unlocked for the play sets. I keep seeing them popping up on my PlayStation 4 friends list, and I can keep seeing in Disney Infinity 3.0, I can see them playing through the play sets. I'm like, so that'll be good for them. So I expect there will be, and also we've got all those new toy boxes from the Toy Box Summit. They'll all be available. I know Disney are also sending out their stuff. So there's going to be like and also quite a bit of a steep learning curve to start learning to play with all these new toys of Radius Checkers and the Pathfinders and things like that.
yeah, I've been avoiding my PS4. In fact, I think inspired by the Ultimate Unlock, I've been playing my PS2. I've been playing Kingdom Hearts 2, so just to avoid the envy from all the toy box builders playing on 3.0. So,
no, it's pretty cool. I mean, I think it's just going to be an interesting. I think, I'm going to be honest. I'm not. If you start noticing a few less updates on the websites in the evenings, in the mornings, you know why? Because I'm waiting until I get to work to do them, because I'll be too busy playing in the morning. Be like, shall I put up a few stories now? I'm going to wait till I go to work where I can't have distraction. But yeah, so there's going to be a lot to play, lots to do, and like I said, it feels. I almost feel like with this Rise of the Empire playset. I know some, obviously of my age, Star Wars, that is the main one, but I'm actually even tempted to kind of do that. I want to do Twilight, Inside Out, then do Star Wars, Rise of the Empire. I want to put the Disney one in the middle to kind of stretch out the Star Wars stuff. I think maybe after doing Avengers and Spider-Man last year, I kind of feel like, I know they're supposed to be quite different, but I don't want to have that same thing that I had last year of something they felt too similar.
I don't know. For me, it's like I can't have, like, for example, when episode 7 is going to come out later this year, I'm going to watch a marathon, and I'm going to watch 1 through 3, then 4 through 6. I'm not going to watch 1 through 3, then watch Inside Out, and then watch. So that's the reason why I'm doing it this way. It has to be continuity for me. But I do kind of see what you're saying, though, because everybody feels like we're a little hand shy from the whole Avengers Spider-Man playset thing. So it makes sense. Maybe put Inside Out in between the Star Wars stuff just to give a little taste of what it could be. But for me, I feel like that might be the case if I go from Rise Against to the Force Awakens playset. So it doesn't really matter where I put Inside Out.
No. But I think it's going to be, I mean, for me, like with the Star Wars Rise of the Empire playset, I've got, I'll have Luke and Leia, and I'll have Boba Fett. And obviously you can use the Rebels and the ones when you find the coins, but I don't have Darth Vader and Chewie and Han Solo. So it's going to give me an excuse to, I almost feel like, play through the game properly again when I've got those figures again. So that's the kind of, I'm thinking with Rise of the Empire, I'll play through it once and I'll play through it again when the other figures come out properly. That's the cool thing I feel like with this year, is with all the Star Wars figures being able to play in each other's, when you get that crossover coin, that's going to really change those play sets, because you're going to have, a new figure comes out and you can go through and experience them slightly different.
Yeah, I don't seem to have that issue myself, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But
I'm just really gutted the fact you've got Darth Maul, because he's the guy that he's like the one thing, because they've held him back. which makes sense. I think that, this was the thing that they always felt from the syndrome from 1.0, where everyone the press kind of slaughtered them for the idea that you could have the same person play the same person, and it makes no sense. But in the toy box, it does. So I understand the reason why they put Darth Maul a few months later, but it is annoying because I do love him.
I do hope that he becomes one of these FX ones, because he is probably the coolest lightsabered figure, because he has he's not Ahsoka where he's wielding two blades. He's wielding one that's double-sided, and it's really cool. So, because on that picture we saw, I didn't see Darth Maul on there, so hopefully he is one of those.
Yeah, Ahsoka wasn't on there as well. I'm wondering if it's the dual lightsaber issue of it's maybe a little bit harder to do.
I just think there wasn't enough room on that picture. That's what I was thinking.
I don't know. At least people know they're coming. So if you're not buying, some people might be like, well, I won't buy Yoda and Obi-Wan now because I'll get those FX figures later down the line. But it could be a few months away. And I think these FX figures are very much kind of aimed at the hardcore collector. They're not really the mainstream thing. It's gonna be interesting what we find out a little bit more about that.
I hope there's a way to have them light up without having to put them on the base, kind of like the light core Skylanders, because like you said, if they're for hardcore collectors, maybe they're just more like display pieces, and if there's a way to light them up without the base, I'd be happy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think with these light FX ones, I am slightly I'm still sitting on the fence. I want to see what they look like. Like I said, if there was Darth Maul, I would be all over it. I'd be probably tempted with Darth Vader as an initial one, but I don't really like the idea of buying another 5 or 7 Star Wars figures just for that alone. It's another $100, on some figures that I've already got, and I just know how little I use those crystal figures. I just never used them. I never really used those crystal variants. However, Black Suit Spider-Man is a figure I love using. So it's the variant side of things is very sort of up and down, different. I love this Black Suit Spider-Man, but the crystals I just don't really bother. So I'm really torn on these FX ones.
Yeah, it makes sense. I don't know. I like you. I feel like I'd probably get Darth Vader just to start and see if I like him. And yeah, I don't know. It has to be really cool for me to justify to spend more money. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot of undecided things on there. I know, hardcore collectors will be like, I'll buy them all. Some people saying I'll wait. But yeah, I'm not entirely too sure. But I think that's pretty much going to wrap up this week's show. It's kind of like I said, it was always this was always the plan, was just to go through all of the information, tell everyone what's coming out, go through it all, and just have a bit of a discussion, because we did expect after D23 it was kind of going to be a drop off, and this week I'm expecting just a lot of sort of fluff and excitement to kind of get the game out. We'll probably find that I don't think there'll be any major announcements. It will just literally be the game comes out this Sunday or the game's out already kind of thing, because they've done as much you almost feel like they've done as much publicity as humanly possible. They can't really have shown us any more gameplay footage, I don't think. I mean, they've done an incredible job of doing gameplay, and I mean, last week was sort of Disney, it was the fans all kind of did their thanks JV, and also thanks to all the Disney Infinity team for all their work, and it's just incredible really the amount of information we've had over the last few months in the build up to this launch, and it's pretty much all down to this. We're on to that. It's the last leg. It's kind of going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those very long weeks, so we'll see how it goes.
I will say that I think I'm going to be honest. I think because it's Friday for us, it doesn't quite feel as bad. I'm literally expecting, the retailers that I've ordered from will start dispatching probably today. And, there might be, I could even end up starting getting parcels Wednesday, Thursday, if I'm really, really lucky. I think it's going to be never worse than having, when you got the figures like last year, I had a couple of the figures lined up that I didn't have the game for yet. But yeah, it doesn't quite feel quite so far away because we've got those few extra days ahead. But yeah, no, it should be pretty exciting. Let us know what you're excited with. Comment below. Let us know what figure you're going to use first, what your plans are for day one. Remember to check out our other videos. Abe's going to be uploading some more videos. I need that stick because he didn't do it last week.
Actually, you kind of dived into something I was going to say. So I will be having some videos coming up this week, and pay attention to my unboxing videos because I am planning to do a giveaway. And on one of my, I think it's my last unboxing video. Just pay attention to certain things you'll need to do to qualify, and yeah, stay tuned for a giveaway. And for all those who are like, I don't care, the game's about to come out, maybe it's a figure that's not coming out at launch, so who knows. Anyways, yeah, so stay tuned. Keep an eye out for these videos, but definitely look at that unboxing video whenever it's up. There is a giveaway, so yeah.
Yes, that's cool. Also, big thank you to our Patreons, Magic Band Collector and sorterapps.com. Big thank you to Ethan over there for that. A big shout out to Disney Infinity Museum. You got an expensive week coming up.
Big one.
Yeah. So I bet he's looking at all these like FX going, don't release too many, please don't release too many. But yeah, big thank you to our patrons. A really big help to us for running the site and sort of helping us out. But yeah, big thank you to that. Just remember to hit that subscribe button. Check us out on YouTube. Remember to check out DisKingdom.com. Add us to your favorites. Add us to your lists. Add us to your bookmarks. And yep, so we'll see you all later and have a great week. And I'm sure everyone's going to have a very good weekend.
Yeah, enjoy Disney Infinity 3.0. Woo!
Laters.
Laters.